there, it's Michelle here. I hope you're doing really well today. I wanted to hop on real quick and talk about the 4 things I've learned this year inside of Intuition Circle. So many of you, maybe you don't know, some of you do and some of you don't. There's this group right here, our free Empaths and Sensitives Surviving to Thriving Facebook group. About a year ago, I opened up what's called Intuition Circle. And it's psychic and intuitive development for women. And it's an online group where we practice, discover, develop, and practice our skills of intuition and hone that ability, because that is the gift of the empaths and sensitives. So it's been a year now since I've had that group of awesome women. And I wanted to share some kind of like epiphanies, or I don't know, I've just been kind of sitting back and really sitting in the gratitude of what I've learned from these awesome women. And I wrote it down here. So number 1, every single one of us has unique gifts. And it's not just the women inside that program, it's all of us. But if you're someone who doesn't hang out with other intuitives, it's very hard for you to see your unique gifts. So And I've been in this world of psychic and intuitive development for a long time, but I've never seen it as much as I've seen it in the group. And I don't know if it's just because it's been a year of consistent work together, but I can see every single woman, how they bring through their intuition and how they give it to people is such a unique gift. I can see it in every single one of them. And I think they're seeing it in themselves too. And that when you start to see yourself as a unique gift to yourself and the world, that is really the definition of self-worth and self-confidence, right? So that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed this year inside of Intuition Circle. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. I'm glad that makes sense. The next point, if I can find it, here's what I've really learned through this 1 year of consistent development. Community accelerates growth. So this was the issue for me too. For many years, I just read about books, or I went to sometimes psychic fairs, or I read about personal development. And I did like reading those, but it wasn't until I started joining like-minded people that my growth accelerated. And I see that same thing for women inside Intuition Circle. I've just, not to toot my own horn, but I have created a loving, safe, grounding environment for women to really start to just show up as themselves and be vulnerable and try new things. And like, sometimes it's a little shaky to give a reading or to give your impressions. And sometimes it's really exciting, like, that's growth, right? Like when we were little and we went to school, it was scary to go to first grade. And there were some scary times and awesome times, but you grew and I grew. Same thing happens inside Intuition Circle. Are you is that a hand wave, Jennifer? Awesome. Okay, so a community accelerates growth. And I'm an introvert. Community is not easy for me, but man, it has been a game changer for me. Okay, number 3. You know, this feeling of, I said this in a post a couple weeks ago, like we have this feeling that we're meant for more in this lifetime. You know that feeling. I think a lot of us have it, like you just know you're meant to do more. The opposite of that feeling is knowing your life purpose. It's a sense of fulfillment, like you're living your purpose. So the one side is, I know I'm supposed to do something. I know I'm meant for more. The complete opposite of that is a sense of fulfillment and clarity and knowing your purpose and doing your life purpose. I'm seeing that inside of Intuition Circle for myself, and I'm seeing it for the women. But let me tell you how I see feelings of fulfillment coming to fruition for those people. When I see a woman inside of Intuition Circle, like achieving something, like let's say she's been afraid to give some impressions to somebody, because that's what we do inside Intuition Circle, and she finally does that, like is brave enough to speak what she's feeling, And then the person who is receiving that message, she can see that that has really been helpful for her. So I think achieving something and contributing to someone's well-being equals fulfillment. So it almost feels like stretching yourself or doing something brave and someone getting benefit from that equals fulfillment. It shows you your life purpose. And then if you do that consistently, you're on the road to your life purpose. I hope that makes sense. But the feelings of fulfillment are amazing. It's the best, one of the best feelings, maybe besides feelings of love. Fulfillment's up there pretty high. Okay, number 4. This one's kind of silly, but this is how I see it. If you want to feel alive in your life, if you want to feel alive again, so what do I mean by that? Well, let me just go to the feelings that are opposite of that. If you have a feeling of feeling dead inside, or you feel stuck, or you feel like the days are the same over and over and over, or you have feelings of like no excitement and very little excitement and joy in your life, those are the opposite of feeling alive. And I have found that if you want to feel alive again, which I think we all do because we are alive right now on earth, we're here to feel alive and do things and feel all the feelings, the good ones especially, the good feelings. You have to do new things. You have to do things that are interesting to you. You have to do things that maybe scare you a little bit, but you're fascinated with or interested in. You have to do things that probably won't make sense to you or other people, but you just feel drawn to it. That is getting you on the path of living an alive life. And when you start to do things that make you feel alive, you end up living your life purpose, because feelings of excitement and joy and aliveness and interest is the sign that you're on your purpose. You're on your life purpose path. Does that make sense? Amy says that's exactly where I'm at right now. Awesome. I hope that makes sense, ladies. So the reason I'm saying this and I'm bringing this all up is I've opened the doors to Intuition Circle for a few days to the public for new members. And I only open it a few times a year, but I put the link in the description. And, you know, I've been promoting Intuition Circle for about a year now when I started it, but it's very different how I feel about it now because of our year of evolution. I can see that it is a space for women to discover their abilities, to grow their confidence, and to get crystal clear on what they're supposed to be doing in the world. And yeah, we do it through the avenues of psychic and intuitive development, but what we're really doing is getting clear about ourselves. And I guess tapping into our intuition is the way to do that. So if you're interested, all the details are if you click the link in the description, you'll go to the page where it tells you everything about it. You'll go to the page where you can join if you want to try it. It is risk-free. So if you join and you decide in the first 30 days it's not for you, I'll give you your money back. You just send me an email and say, Michelle, this isn't for me. I send you an email back and I say, I totally get it. You've just been refunded. It's pretty easy process. I rarely have that happen. Most people who are drawn to Intuition Circle are there for a reason, and we end up working together because my intention is, God, send me people that I can help. And when I hold steady with that intention and I speak about it, I just draw the right people. So if you are drawn to what I'm talking about, if you're drawn to me, or if you're drawn to the idea of developing your intuition, then I would invite you, encourage you to give it a try and see if it helps you get on the path to your life purpose, or helps you get clarity about your intuition, or I have lots of little things, helps you build your confidence, your self-worth. That's what I want for you. I hope that makes sense. Jennifer says, yes, cheers. Kimberly says, my intuition has always confused me as it's really strong. I just overthink it and I don't know if I should follow it or not. It seems like I get strong feelings about people. Some people are super negative, and I don't know if it's correct or if I'm paranoid. And it goes on and on. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there, Kimberly, because I'm having a hard time reading it. Thank you for posting that. I strongly encourage you to try Intuition Circle. It is a space where you're going to get very clear about your intuition, when to turn it on and off. What you're picking up on, is it yours or someone else's? That it's a space where you're going to get really clear about your intuition. Once you're super clear about your intuition, how it speaks to you, you will then trust it and act on it. I think people get confused with their intuition because they lack trust in it. And if you lack trust in it, then you're going to lack action. So you need to get clear on it to trust it. I hope that makes sense. It's just really a matter of you learning about it, getting clear about it, trusting it, and then acting on it. Life is very different for people who hear their intuition clearly, trust it, and act on it. This is going to sound corny, but it's magical. I wake up every day very excited to do what I do. But, I got to be honest, there are not so great days with intuition. Like, sometimes my intuition tells me it's time to do something different. And I want to go, no, I'm doing this. Like, intuition doesn't always make sense. But if you've honed it and you learn to trust it and act on it, it's amazing. It can be so amazing. Even though it can have scary moments, it's amazing. Chrissy says, for some reason, I'm getting a older woman who wants that room painted bright yellow. I don't know, but she is very persuasive. So that's funny, Chrissy. I think that's for me. The yellow is about something else, but I have been thinking about, I'm just in the midst of painting my own house right here. So I think that's really funny that you said that. And yellow, it's a long and drawn out story, but yellow is significant. So that's awesome, Chrissy. Join us in Intuition Circle. We're your people if that's what you're getting. Kimberly says, okay, thank you. I'll check it out because I'm all over the place. Yeah, you just need a community to show you what to do. The community also is just, we are high vibing women. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I've really created a loving environment for women to grow and develop. There's no judgment. We have love and compassion for each other. Everyone is welcome. Okay, I hope that made sense. I can speak about it, but you can't really feel it until you get inside of it. Jennifer says, me too, Kimberly. Welcome, ladies. If you join, I'll be happy to get to know you and teach you everything I can and guide you. Connie says, how do I protect myself from emotional vampires? There's a couple things, Connie. Number one, there's plenty of techniques on how to protect yourself, but I'm going to go beyond that. And protecting yourself is a temporary fix. It's like a Band-Aid. What we really want to do is get you to a point where you're very clear about your vibration and you just don't attract those kind of people into your life anymore. That's the optimal way to be. So I encourage you to join Intuition Circle if that calls to you. That there's so many things to say. Someone who understands their intuition, someone who's on their life purpose, someone who has confidence in themselves, someone who has high self-esteem does not magnetize energy vampires. So when I say I encourage you to join Intuition Circle, it's for that reason. The temporary fix is shielding yourself. I'll try to post I know I've done a video on that before, and I'll post it here in the thread after this. But don't forget, that's a temporary fix. We don't want to live our lives protecting ourselves. We want to work on ourselves enough that we're vibing in our natural high vibe, that we just don't draw the crappy crap to us. Candace says, my problem is not knowing if it is my intuition or if I'm picking up on someone else's feelings. I pick up on other people's feelings so strongly and without even realizing it. Yes, my problem is not knowing if it's my intuition or if I'm picking up on. So you know you're picking up on someone else's? Is that what you're saying, Candace? Perfect. So you're just one step ahead. So you went from not knowing if it's your stuff or somebody else's to, no, I know this is someone else's stuff and I'm picking up on it. So we need to figure out for you, that's just one more step of awareness. You need to understand either how to clear it. I don't even think that's it. Once you're very clear on how you operate, you won't do that anymore. I know that doesn't feel like a complete answer, but a lot of the things that I'm telling you come with development. Connie says, even strangers tell me their problems. Yes, Connie, that's the sign of an empath sensitive, a healer, a light worker, a helper. That is a strong signal that you are a healer of some kind. Isn't that amazing? Which is kind of cool to know that that's your life path. Kimberly, replying to Kimberly's story of my life. Christina says, how do we deal with vampires? Christina, I'll put that link in I've done a few videos about that. I'll put the link in the thread. I'll read a couple more of these. Kimberly says, I used to feel like I had strong intuition, and somewhere I lost it along the 10-ish years. I think that's true for all of us. We go through these times of it's low, it's high, our lives are busy. Maybe like a trauma happens, and sometimes in trauma, the intuition can get turned on. Sometimes when someone in our close relative or a friend or a spouse passes away, our intuition can get lit up. And then there's times in your life when you get super busy with physical life and it'll feel like it gets really low. So it's totally normal. Being in like a group like Intuition Circle, it's a little bit like joining a gym, which is not a great idea probably, but it consistently, it holds you accountable to developing your intuition consistently is probably the best way to say it. And especially if you really show up and be with us on the live, we do lots of live things together, live readings, and you just stay in that energy of being with people who are talking about intuition, developing their intuition, asking questions about their intuition. You have no choice but to develop it. Cindy says, raise your vibration to a higher level and vampires will not be drawn to you. Yeah, it's like a different radio station, right? Like you're playing this station and they're playing that station, and they're two different stations. Julie says, I get confused by not knowing if it's my intuition or imagination when I'm feeling or seeing something. Both are pretty strong. How do you know it's real? Okay, this is a really good question, Julie, something we talk about inside of Intuition Circle, and I'll share a little bit with you right here. I believe intuition comes through the imagination. My imagination and intuition feel exactly the same. And inside Intuition Circle, I used to feel this way too. I hear women go like this. I feel like I'm just making this up, Michelle. I'm literally making this up. It feels so weird. And I tell them, I said, I want you to just make it up in this moment and you'll start to see. It doesn't really feel different. You'll just trust it. Imagination and intuition, I feel like come through the same space. So women will say to me, Michelle, I don't know if I'm making this up or if it's real. And I laugh and say to them, you're making it up and it's real. You're making it up and it's real. But when you first start developing, it feels really awkward because you'll say to me, Michelle, I'm just making this up. It's just coming off the top of my head. And I go, just say it anyway. Trust it. Let's get some feedback. And then you'll start to believe in it. I hope that helped, Julie. Tracy says, why do empaths attract narcissists? I've done a lot of videos on this, Tracy. I'll post them here if I can. But the bottom line is empaths are givers, 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 givers. Narcissists are takers, 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 takers. And it's a perfect match. When empaths are balanced and understand their vibration, they do not attract narcissists anymore. When empaths are balanced in their giving and receiving, they cannot attract a taker, taker, taker anymore. It sounds so, I'm saying it like in such a robot form, but I've just been doing this long enough that that's the facts. Alice says, I found you for a reason. I've been looking for someone like you. Oh, Alice, that makes me emotional because, again, my intention is, God, send me people I can help, and then I just show up and do what the best I can do, and then the right people show up like you. Awesome. Candace says, yes, it helps a lot. Thank you. You're welcome. Christina says, thanks. You're welcome. Alice says, can you see my messages? Yes, I just saw that one at least, the one you just said. Let's see. Kimberly says, can traumas ruin intuition? I think, who is this? Kimberly? I think trauma can spark someone's intuition. And then I also think trauma can hinder someone's intuition. I think both of those are true. Can it ruin your intuition? It can mess up your intuition. If the trauma hasn't been healed, looked at, release the emotions of it, it'll act as a filter for your intuition, and it can mess with it. Paula says, do you think chemo can affect intuition? Paula, no one has ever asked me that question, and I don't know if I've known anyone who's gone through chemo. So I have to say, I don't know. I don't know. Can chemo affect? I don't know. I'll have to really think about that one for a while. Alice says, I had a car accident that I clinically died 6 times. Since then, I know things. I'm wondering if this accident changed me and what is the best path to develop this. So I absolutely believe that a lot of people have traumas and accidents that open up their channels of intuition. So I think the same is probably true for you, Alice. And the best path to develop it is, I would encourage you to join me in Intuition Circle. The link is in the description. Just give it a try. I have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just get with me and these women, the women and myself, and see how you feel in that group. Tracy says, thank you. Wow, you're welcome. Jennifer says, the narcissist topic is so true. Thankful to finally be free. I'll post some of the links. I've talked a lot about that in other videos. I'll post them in this link. Alice says, can I make myself do it at will? This is what I want to learn. Yes, absolutely, Alice. There's a way to turn it on and off. It's just you getting control of it. I know I have to remember where people are. Like, I've been doing this for so long, I forget what people do and don't know and what they do know. Yes, you can get control of your intuition. Join me in Intuition Circle. It's something we do together. Jennifer said an accident sparked trauma here for her too. Yeah, accidents, traumas, it's a big way that people's intuition opens up. Okay, I'm going to read one more. The last one that says, Leslie says, I speak my truth, but then always have to explain that I'm not crazy. Yeah, I get that, Leslie. I think a lot of sensitive souls understand what you're saying. What do I want to say about this? As you develop as you believe in yourself, as you know what you're saying to be the truth, as you get really clear on who you share your abilities with and who you don't share them with, that crazy thing disappears. So I say this. The amount of people I see outside of me that look at me and say I'm crazy is the same amount I feel on the inside. So when I was first developing my intuition and I really thought I might be crazy, I told my husband, I don't know if I'm crazy or if I'm psychic. Please keep an eye on me. So I felt like I had that insecurity on the inside that I might be crazy. In the outside world, then it was reflected to me. They would say, Michelle, you're crazy. So now that I have developed and I understand myself, I know how I'm wired. I know how to use my gifts. It's my life purpose now. It's what I do for a living. Like I live my life purpose and get paid for it. It's what I want for every single person on earth. I don't get anyone saying I'm crazy anymore because I don't have any of it left inside of me. So the amount of crazy you're getting from the outside world is just a reflection of the things that you can clear within you. So it's an empowering thought, I hope. Oh, there's more here. I didn't see this. Okay, one more. Alice said, okay, I will join you. Awesome. I have the doors open right now for a few days for new members. After that, I close the doors again because I just like to keep it safe and secure. I found you this morning because it's time for me to develop this. Awesome. Yes. Leslie says, people come back later saying, how did you know? I know. Absolutely. And Margot's here. Margot is inside of Intuition Circle. Kimberly said, I sent you a message in your inbox. Is that okay? Yes. Send it to me. My inbox, I get a lot of people reaching out to me, Kimberly, so I will get to it as soon as possible. But it might take a few days. And it's the week. I try not to work on the weekends. Jennifer says, I wish I could protect myself to avoid anxiety. Sometimes it's just overwhelming. I totally get that. Anxiety was a big issue for me. But you know what, Jennifer? Protecting yourself to avoid anxiety doesn't work. It doesn't. How do I know? I tried that for a long time. Protecting yourself to avoid anxiety doesn't work. Maybe there's short-term benefits to that. Long-term, you'll be exhausted. You won't clear anxiety. Jennifer, I encourage you to try Intuition Circle and just see what it feels like to be with us, because anxiety was my issue. And I draw a lot of women who have anxiety because I healed mine. So now I draw people to me that need that kind of healing. So I encourage you to join it and just give it a month and see if you feel some relief from your anxiety. I hope I'm saying that, but the biggest thing I want to say is protect yourself to avoid anxiety is not the long-term solution. And I want you to have a long-term solution. Okay, I keep saying I'm going to read one more, but I don't want to miss anything. Melissa says, I was on your call last night. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for helping me find that I am not hearing voices trapped in my brain. I'm hearing guides. Awesome. Is there a certain commitment for the Intuition Circle, or can we cancel at any time? There's no commitment with Intuition Circle. You can cancel at any time. That's a great question. So there is no commitment. You can try it. It's $37 this time. So it's $37 to join. It's $37 a month. If you can cancel at any time. If you decide in the first 30 days you didn't like it or it wasn't for you, you'll just send me an email. You'll have my email. And you just say, Michelle, this isn't for me. I'll give you your $37 back. If, let's say, the second month comes and you're still enjoying it and using it and getting something out of it, you'll get billed $37 every month that you're in it. But you can, let's say in the third month you realize it's not for you, you'll just send me an email and say, Michelle, I want to cancel Intuition Circle. And you can. I really want it to be like no strings attached. But I want it has to have a price to it because number one, it's what I do for a living. And number two, if you don't invest your time and money, it's like you have to put a stake in the ground and go, hey, I want to do this. This is important to me. I want to step on this path and see if it has anything, if it's calling you, I want you to step on it. But also if you decide it's not your thing, I want you to be free to go, it's not my thing. And then we can say goodbye to each other. I really want it to be like that. Margo says the League of Legalys. It's the best. That is funny. Thank you. Oh, what else? Okay, I'll read. Okay, Melissa says that makes total sense. Thank you so much for everything. You're welcome. Okay, so the link is in the description. I know I didn't give you too many details about Intuition Circle because you can read those on your own. And I hope this helps you. If it calls to you, I really want you to trust that and try it because I've put out the call to help the people I'm supposed to help. So if you're feeling that tug, you're probably one of them. And then I want you to give it a try for a month. You can cancel it anytime, and that's it. If you're hearing me talk and it's just a solid no inside of you, trust that too. It's not for you. Like you just don't have that, I don't know why. It's like a pull for me. Like I just know when I'm supposed to go a certain way. If you don't have that feeling, if it just feels like a no to you then it's not for you. And you trust it. That's your intuition. You trust it. It's not for you then. And then there's people who sit on the fence, like indecision, like I feel like I really want to do it, but maybe I shouldn't, but and I get it. I've been that person many times. I understand that feeling, but I want you to trust your intuition. If you're being pulled to it, try it. If you're not being pulled to it, don't try it. It's that simple. Like use your intuition right now and make a decision and go down that path. If it's the no path, then fine, you go down the no path. If it's the yes path, give it a try. Okay, I hope that helps you. And if I see you in Intuition Circle, I'm looking forward to it. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.